Now I'm preparing for live stream in YouTube. I'm not sure that you are all in the IB teachers, right?
And only teacher Ratchanon this time because teacher Moy is busy. I mean, she has classes this time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please wait.
All right.
This is me. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to IB Teacher Talk, which is the teacher seminar on teaching and learning in new normal learning community in Rajanippon School. And now we live stream on Facebook group IB Teachers, and today is S01 is mean for secondary, and the first tape, yeah, and we will meet Mr. Rosalio Sominok and Bill Lanosa, right? Okay. He is science teacher for secondary level. Okay. We have to talking something with him first. Rosario, please close this slide first. Please stop sharing this slide. Okay. How are you this morning, Rosario?
Wonderful. Yeah, I feel wonderful this time. I'm excited for this teacher's talk with you and teacher Ratchanon.
Teacher Rosario is your buddy, right? Your buddy. Hi, good morning. Teacher Non, good morning.
Good morning ครับ Good morning ครับ
How are you today?
I'm good ครับ How's about all of you ครับ
Okay. What's your subject that you like to talk about this morning?
It's about the properties of metals, non-metals, and metalloids. The periodic table of elements. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And if you're ready, please share your slide and present.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Pirun. Okay, good morning, everyone, especially to our live viewers on Facebook and YouTube. My name is Teacher Rosalio, or you can call me Teacher Tata, and I teach grade 7 science and also FPSP, together with Teacher Ratchanon and Teacher Muay or Teacher Pornsri. All right, so the topic that I taught last time was about the properties of metallic, non-metallic, and semi-metallic elements, or we call them semi-metals. It's about the periodic table of elements. So level M1/3 or grade 7/3, and it's done on a Friday, last 2 periods. And that's good for 2 minutes. 100 minutes or 2 periods. So that's in week 4. So about my lesson plan, I made this. These are the learning objectives. The first one is to explain the relationship between atoms and the elements using the periodic table of elements. The second one is to explain some properties or characteristics of metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. And the third one is to be aware of the values of using metals, nonmetals, and metalloids, or we say semi-metals. So as you notice, I put here K, P, and A. K for knowledge, P for process, and A for aptitude. What about the content? So the content for metals are shiny, solid at room temperature, except for mercury. So they are malleable. That means they can be hammered into thin sheets and good conductors of heat and electricity. For nonmetals, they are usually dull. That means they're not shiny, they're brittle, or they break easily, and poor conductors. They exist in various states at room temperature, can be in solid, liquid, or gas. For semi-metals, also known as metalloids, they have mixed properties. That means combination of metals and nonmetals, but they are brittle, like nonmetals, and are moderate conductors of electricity. Now let's proceed to our learning process. So first we have the introduction. I started with naming the apparatus because some students don't know yet the names of the apparatus in English. So I asked them, for example, beaker, mortar and pestle, the elements that I used that time, like sulfuric acid, aluminium, sodium. So I let them be familiarized with those equipment, those laboratory apparatus, and also the materials in the lab. And I used or applied 5 E's in my teaching. 5 E's stand for engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. So first, I let them group into 8. By the way, for the grouping, so it's the same as their FPSP because I teach both subjects, so it's not confusing for them. So I decided to have one group in both subjects. And then I gave them or I handed them their worksheets. Each of them got a worksheet like this. So 4 pages. And they read instructions. So what's written in the lab worksheet and emphasize safety for this experiment, especially for sodium, because it's explosive. So it's dangerous. And also they did experiments 2 groups at a time. That's it. For conclusion, I summarize the key points covered in the lesson. So I would like to emphasize here for engagement that this is to spark curiosity. So I ask questions to engage them, to let them be curious about the experiment and explore by working together. So they worked as a group. So they had to ask questions. They had to, what's going to happen if they did something wrong? And explain this one for the concept, of course, using their book as well, because they have their book in science. Elaborate. So explain, so the theory or the concept. Elaborate, here it's by giving examples. And evaluate. So I assess them using their laboratory worksheets. So based on that assessment, so after that, I checked their lab worksheets and I found out that 21 out of 40 students, or 52.5%, finished their worksheet on time. That means not all of them were able to submit their work on time. And for my formative assessment, I observed them and I found out that all of them participated well and had fun, especially when it comes to this one, sodium. Yeah, but it's quite dangerous. So I did it by myself. So actual results. Desirable, first, a majority of our students can successfully memorize the element symbols in the periodic table. It's easy for them. Certain students are able to carry out the task independently. That means they can work alone, but only certain students with limited guidance from their teacher. Also, their Thai teacher, Teacher Rachanon and Teacher Muay. Many students are highly engaged when participating in hands-on exercise, experiments, or activities. So they find active learning really interesting. For undesirable results, some students have difficulty expressing their understanding using the English language. So they need more studies. They need to learn more vocabulary, words in English to improve their English vocabulary. Some students rely, so they depend heavily on their teachers for guidance. So here they lack confidence. So they always ask questions, even though you give them the instructions. And also, certain students require additional time to gain familiarity with the lab equipment. Yeah, I noticed that certain students don't know the English term. For example, beaker, they know in Thai, but they don't know in English, like funnel, like that. So those terms are quite difficult for them. But I noticed that they know the terms in Thai language. Now, what did I learn? What did I find out? So following a month of teaching Math Team 1 or grade 7 students, differences in students' language proficiency were observed. So they have different levels of English proficiency. Some of them can understand English, others don't. Some students are familiar with instructional methods that require minimal independent thinking. They are accustomed to a spoon feeding approach, meaning you really have to tell them what to do. You have to give them instructions step by step. So they're not so familiar with like doing by your own or being independent. So they are quite dependent, I would say most of them. And how to apply this? So students need to learn new vocabulary words every meeting, simplify language, but keep content. Use more visuals, videos, and real objects, especially in science because you always use the laboratory equipment. So I always tell them, okay, this is a beaker, this is a funnel. So also integrate real-world uses of elements in science education. So let them understand the essence of that in real world. For example, sodium is used in fireworks like that. Gold is used in jewelry, in necklaces like that. The second one is use peer teaching. That means like buddy system. So they can ask their friend, ask the stronger or more confident students to explain a concept to others. Encourage discussion in small groups. Although I would say this one is time consuming, but still, I think this is effective and I'm going to apply this in my next classes. So here are the photos that we took during the experiment. This one. So as you can see, this is me and these are the students. Antimony, aluminum, and other metals. I tested them. And this is my co-teacher, Teacher Ratchanan, who is very supportive in doing the experiments, is guiding the students on how to do the task. So I and Teacher Ratchanan, together with Teacher Moy, really help each other. So I like our chemistry. I like our bonding. That's all. Okay, so this ends my presentation, Dr. Perun. If you have questions, please let me know.
Thank you. Please stop sharing and we will have some conversations.
Stop share.
Okay. How are you feeling after you finished your presentation today?
I felt relieved. So happy now. It's like my task is finished. Yeah, successfully.
Okay, so I appreciate on your teaching, especially on the last slide that I see you're trying to teach a student do experiment by doing experiment, right? You know why? I try to engage our student to study by experiment with English class. Why? You know why? Because I think I saw your right that undesirable something that English competency is like an obstacle for a student to learn. Like so, I decide that you have to teach them activity, hands-on activity, and by using experiments because when the student hands-on activity, they conceptualize using their conceptualize or structure of intellectual structure more than the language, you know.
Yeah.
They can conceptualize by action. It's more than, it's better than your lecture. The lecture, the language is more important when you lecture, right? Because the language is something like a variable for a student to understand, right? So if we look at your lesson plan and the objective, learning objective. I saw your present that let your student to explain. It's mean K and P to do something
Yeah,
and A to aware, right? To be
yeah.
aware of something. Yeah. How we improve KPA in these lessons to the competency, to the student competency. Please try to answer me. How to improve KPA to be the competency for this lesson?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how to improve that? For me, KPA, right? So first they need to know the theory. So this knowledge, they need to know the concept and how it is done, that is process, and also how to be aware and the application in real life situations. So as students, they should not only learn by the book, what's in the book, but also how to do the process, how to do it in real life and connect it. So for aptitude there, we're talking about what we call this one, the applications in real life scenarios could be the effects of that, either positive or negative. For example, elements. So they should realize and the importance of that in real life scenario. So like,
Yeah.
why are you studying elements? Why do you have that? So they have the knowledge, they have the concept, the theory, and the process on how to do it. At the same time, they're aware of their surroundings, that elements are around us and we use them. And they have harmful or good effects to us and also to the environment.
So every time if we need to teach the students to have the competencies, we have to think that how the content connect to real life for a student, right? How to
Yeah.
apply to application this,
Connection.
and if we compare this concept, how to improve a student competency, this concept with the 5E process, learning process. You understand?
Yeah, yeah.
What E is mean the student have to apply KPA into real life situations. What E?
Okay, we have engage, explore, elaborate. What E? I think in elaborate type there, teacher. Elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because 5E is not what the teacher do, you know. 5E is mean what the student learning process.
Yeah.
Begin with engage them to raise the questions or identify what's the problem they have to learn. And then they explore by themselves. Yeah. So in your worksheet, the student have to do the experiment. It means the student do the experiment to explore what's the KPA. What's the KPA? So the KPA, the student have to explain KPA in the step of the third E, explanation, right? Explanation. And then they elaborate. So you have to give them the new situation, the real life situation in that the student have to use the KPA. For example, that you can give them some situation that they have to apply KPA into these situations to learn more, to work, or to solve the problem in the real life situation. This means to elaborate what they learned. Yeah. And the last is evaluate. Evaluations mean to reflect, to self-evaluate. The student have to reflect what they learned, why they learned like this, what the error, what happens in that class, and why the error is occur, why. Yeah. Okay. That's all I learned from your presentation today, and I think that you can get more idea more lesson learned right เอาครูโนนเป็นยังไงบ้างวันนี้
ครับ ให้พูดเป็นภาษาไทยเลยใช่ไหมฮะ
ไทยก็ได้
โอ
You can
เค
speak
ครับ
English very
he
well.
he he can speak Thai because I'm so sure that Rosario you can understand Thai
100% because they know a lot of Thai word ครับ teacher
เป็นยังไงบ้างนนท์
ก็ในคลาสเนี่ยจริงๆเห็นด้วยกับที่ดรพิรุณพูดเลยนะครับตรงที่ว่าทีเชอร์เนี่ยเขาจะมีวิธีการในการ engage student เนี่ยที่หลากหลายมากโดยเฉพาะเขาจะพยายาม connect เนื้อหาที่จะให้สอนที่จริงๆแล้วพอมันเป็นพาร์ทเคมีเนี่ยเด็กต้องใช้ imagine เยอะใช่ไหมฮะแต่ว่าทีเชอร์ก็จะพยายามแบบเอ่อ connect ว่ามันสำคัญมันเกี่ยวข้องกับชีวิตประจำวันของเด็กๆยังไงแล้วก็ทีเชอร์เนี่ยจะมีการแบบมีการให้เด็กๆมีวิธีการในการดึงดูดให้เด็กเข้ามาเรียนรู้เรื่องพวกเนี้ยตั้งแต่ต้นคลาสเลยเช่นแบบว่าอาจจะมีวิธีการในการแบบเรียกดูก่อนว่าเด็กๆเขาจำคำศัพท์พวกเนี้ยได้ไหมเพื่อเป็นการเพิ่มความจำอะไรพวกเนี้ยด้วยครับก็ค่อนข้างชื่นชมทีเชอร์ตรงเนี้ยมากๆในการที่จะเอ่อทำเรื่องของการ engage student เนี่ยได้ดีและโดดเด่นมากๆครับในบรรยากาศในชั้นเรียนเนี่ยถึงแม้ว่าเด็กๆบางคนเนี่ยอาจจะไม่เข้าใจภาษาอังกฤษบ้างแต่ว่าเราก็จะมีครูไทยแล้วก็ให้เด็กๆเนี่ยใช้เครื่องมือในการช่วยเหลือตัวเองตรงเนี้ยเพิ่มขึ้นในการที่จะให้เขาเนี่ยได้ explore เนื้อหาต่างๆเพิ่มเติมครับ
Okay, Rosario, uh, if we say that in every lesson, English competency of the student is maybe sometimes is obstacle
Yeah.
for the student to learn science. How we solve this problem?
Yesterday I did give them vocabulary words. So I told them every time we have to learn this with Thai translation. So 5 words per meeting. So I think that's one way for them to be familiarized with English words related to the lesson.
Yes, I think that the student have to wrote their vocabulary.
Yeah.
The vocabulary, the keywords for this lesson or this unit before. So, for example, that this learning unit is take about 2 weeks. 2 weeks. They have to wrote all the vocabulary before. They have to know the words, all the words before. I think it can help all students to understand more when they learn with you. Okay, I think rote learning is something very important for the student. Yeah. Okay, thank you for today. Thank you ครูนนท์ด้วยนะที่เข้ามาร่วมเรียนรู้ในครั้งแรกใช่ไหมกับรายการ Teacher Talk เนี่ยก็เป็นรายการที่พวกเรานะจะมาพูดคุยกันแบบนี้นะครับและเดี๋ยวโอเคก็ในโอกาสต่อไปก็ได้เข้าร่วมกันอีกนะวันนี้สนุกมากเลย I'm so happy to talk with you ครู Mr. Rosario you're the great teacher and hope you work here
And
we're on time and you remember that on the 14th of July, we will have the guest from the Philippines. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The 14th.
This month. Okay.
The 14th on Monday. So I think that what we do in Teacher Talk is something that's new normal learning community by using PLC, Professional Learning Community. So I think this video would show for them, for the guests, and maybe we will ask you to talk something about this activity. That's very important, right? Yeah. Please tell everyone why PLC is very important is to power is the powerful tool for teachers, Rajneepal School, to develop their teaching, right? Okay. Thank you for today. สวัสดีครับ